Iowa's a very elite team offensively. And, we knew that going into the game. You have to tip the hat the way they shot the basketball. And I've been around a lot of basketball. I don't know if I've ever seen anyone score 30 points on 10 threes. It was really good shooting. I'm disappointed that we didn't come out and be a little bit more disruptive, or a lot more disruptive to the two key guys in our minds when we talk about McCaffrey and Murray. We have to, can't feel sorry for ourselves. We got to pick ourselves up. We got to get ready to go play one of the top teams in the country in Purdue. And that's a great thing about this league. You get another opportunity night in and night out to go get a quality win.
Gotcha.
Danny, how much do you chalk up of that, what happened tonight, to defensive deficiencies on your end, and in particular, how things came out in the second half where they were able to turn that thing into something a little bit different?
Well, they shot the ball. They're very comfortable shooting the basketball in both halves. Our offensive numbers weren't bad in the first half. It's just that we didn't provide enough resistance to their team offensively. They got very comfortable with us, and they had a very good flow. So, for us, it's, going out there, we know what the guys are capable of doing. We just have to have a better effort in terms of making sure that we don't let guys get comfortable. And guys got comfortable for their team early on.
Gotcha.
Well, Coach, you mentioned the effort. I mean, how would you assess kind of the effort on defense today and throughout the whole 40 minutes?
Obviously, they're not good enough. When a team comes in your building and shoots 60% on both halves, you have to find a way to be a lot more disruptive defensively.
And just, I guess, mentally, what was the message to the team in the locker room now? Obviously, sports they lost, and now we're going to Purdue on Sunday. And what's your message to them?
We got to find a way. Nobody feels sorry for you. It's not what this competitive Big Ten basketball is like. And you got to find a way. And we've got to make sure that we get back to work tomorrow, and we get prepared to go to Purdue to find a way to get a win. And that is, obviously we have to be a lot more disruptive defensively, and we have to do a better job of, taking care of the basketball. We had 12 turnovers, and it led to 19 points for them, and points in the paint. They were able to get their shoulders past us and get to the rim. So we have to do a better job of staying in front of the basketball.
Danny, after a really good first half for you guys offensively, things kind of turned the other way early in the second. What was kind of slipping through the cracks there?
Well, they were continuing to make shots, and we started missing more shots. And that contributes to it. And then, there were too many times we lost Bohannon in transition. They pushed the ball up the court, and in transition, you don't necessarily have a man. You got to stop the ball, and then you got to build out and sort from there. And there were a couple times Bohannon, we didn't get to him quick enough. And a couple of those shots for him were heat checks. He was feeling it, and he let a couple of deep ones go, and obviously he made a lot of them.
And I guess I meant to say offensively. I think there seemed to be a lid on the rim out there for you guys.
Offensively, when you're in situations like that, when you're down the amount of points that we were down, you have a tendency to come out and you want to try to get it back quickly. And there was a stretch in the second half where we started cutting into it a little bit because we started getting paint touches and playing inside out, opposed to selling for jump shots early on. And a lot of those shots were early, were open shots. But you can get that probably a little bit later in the shot clock. Try to put more pressure on the defense and getting to the free throw line. And we didn't do that like we normally do. Getting to the free throw line, we've been a team that been pretty good at getting to the free throw line and making them. And we didn't get to the bonus as quickly as we would like or want to or need to in the game today.
Got it.
You got some minutes Dan there for obviously Ian Martinez and Marcus Dockery. What were your assessment of how those two guys played in the last few minutes there?
They brought energy and they made some shots. So they did some good things out there.
Any other questions? Brian?
Hey, Coach, just could you give me your thoughts on how Iowa played defense Eric Island and Dante Scott?
You know, Eric and Dante didn't have normal games, if you will. I think they did a really good job on Dante. I think Eric missed some shots that he normally makes. You have to give them credit because he missed the shots. But you know, when you have to find different ways to impact the game. You know, we've talked about it before. You're not going to make shots all the time. Right? You got to find different ways to impact the ball game. And, you know, we have to do a better job as a team of that. When shots aren't falling, we got to make sure that defensively we come down, we're disruptive. Shot goes up, we don't give up any second chance opportunities. We get back in transition. We don't turn the ball over and lead to pick six opportunities, if you will. So those are all things that, you know, we have to continue to work on and get better at.
All right, thanks, Coach.